Mary Beard, How Do We Look? The Body, the Divine, and the Question of Civilization. Dive into the captivating world of ancient art and its hidden meanings with Mary Beard's book, How Do We Look? The Body, the Divine, and the Question of Civilization. This enlightening summary explores art's dynamic role in shaping civilizations, from statues of Egyptian pharaohs to paintings in India's Ajanta caves. Discover how various art forms have been used to convey intimate memories, religious experiences, and political power throughout history. You'll find engaging and thought-provoking insights designed to make you question your understanding of ancient art, and maybe even enhance your appreciation of the masterpieces we're surrounded by today.
Interpreting ancient art's essence. Ancient art doesn't just serve a visual purpose. Its true essence is often tied to how people interact with it and the deeper messages it conveys. Examples of this can be seen with the singing statue of Amenhotep III in Thebes and the Athenian wine cooler decorated with satyrs. The experiences surrounding these artifacts explore various concepts, such as good omens and the interplay between civilization and barbarity. When visiting museums or libraries to view art, especially ancient pieces, we often overlook the creator's original intent. Rather than mere visual pleasure, the true purpose of ancient art is deeply rooted in the manner in which people engage with it. For instance, two statues of Egyptian pharaoh Amenhotep III in Thebes derived their meaning from how visitors experienced them in the ancient city. One statue, celebrated for its mysterious singing, intrigued people in antiquity. The uncertain origin of the sound, possibly due to cracks in the structure or playful children, made the phenomenon unpredictable. Over time, those who heard the statue sing deemed it a positive omen. This significance is evident in a poem by Julia Balbilla, a Roman courtier who etched her observations on the statue in 130 CE, signifying Hadrian's divine favoritism upon hearing the statue's sound. Another example illustrating ancient art's deeper meaning is found in Athenian ceramics, such as a 5th century BCE wine cooler. Decorated with debauched satyrs, these half-human, half-animal mythological beings embody the tug-of-war between civilization and wilderness. While such images might seem like an indulgence in hedonism, the reality is far more thought-provoking. As Athenians grappled with concerns of balancing rationality with primal instincts during urban development, the satyr-decorated wine cooler nudged its users to ponder this dilemma in their everyday lives. Thus, ancient art goes beyond aesthetics, actively engaging viewers in cultural, philosophical, and personal reflections. Art as a bridge across time. Art has held a significant role in immortalizing treasured memories and people since ancient times. In the absence of photography, society turned to creative art forms to memorialize the deceased and cherished ones. Be it the Greek statue of Phrasiclea with her blossoming gaze, or the vivid posthumous portraits found in Roman Egypt, both served the purpose of remembering departed individuals and dealing with the sensations of loss. As these artifacts continue to captivate present generations, we are reminded of the timeless and emotive power of art. In a world without photographs, art took the mantle of immortalizing memories and connecting generations. The intricate Greek statue of Phrasiclea, a masterpiece unearthed near Athens in the 1970s, embodies the way art helped remember those no longer with us. With its original red paint and unyielding gaze, Phrasiclea draws onlookers in as her inscriptions reveal that she died before her wedding day. However, memorializing the departed was not the only purpose ancient art served. In Roman Egypt, exquisitely detailed portraits were more than just visually striking, they were mementos to console the bereaved in their grief. Using powerful lighting and shading effects, these striking images adorned the coffins that would remain in the mourner's home before eventually being laid to rest. Depictions of loved ones were also created to maintain a connection with those far away, exemplified by Pliny the Elder's story of Batad's daughter, who traced the candlelit shadow of her departing lover to forge the earliest known 3D portrait. Art not only brought solace and cherished memories to light, but also kept absent loved ones close in spirit. With this rich heritage of remembrance, art continues to bridge time and transcend mortality. The enduring appeal of these creative works touches our hearts and offers a glimpse into the lives and emotions of civilizations long gone, further enriching our understanding of shared human experiences. Monuments of power across civilizations. Monuments have long been built to both celebrate powerful figures and to flaunt their might. A captivating example is the tomb of Qin Shi Huangdi, the first emperor of unified China, protected by an army of terracotta warriors. With around 7,000 individual soldiers, this monument is a testament to Shi Huangdi's power, given the time and expense involved in creating such a massive display, which was buried and unseen for centuries. In contrast, Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II plastered his image throughout his kingdom during his reign, with Luxor's temple housing colossal statues of him, showcasing his supreme authority. However, it remains unclear how effective such imposing artwork was in inspiring obedience, as some subjects may have mocked the propaganda openly. Despite these public displays, many depictions of Ramses II were accessible only to the elite, potentially serving to remind the pharaoh himself of his own legendary stature. Revolutionizing Greek sculpture. As Greek sculpture evolved during the 5th and 6th centuries BCE, remarkable transformations emerged, which shifted the old method of portraying humans to a more realistic and lifelike style. One groundbreaking example was Praxiteles' Aphrodite of Knidos, which introduced nudity and sensual appeal to female statues, thus marking the origin of the male gaze in art history. This revolution in Greek art later became the iconic, classical style that influenced future civilizations. Johann Joachim Winckelmann, an 18th-century German art historian, was an ardent admirer of this style, believing that art reached its peak when reflecting the finest political arrangements and associating the state of art with the healthiness and inherent value of a civilization. Greek sculpture underwent a paradigm shift between the 5th and 6th centuries BCE, completely redesigning the way humans were depicted. The new artistic method focused on creating realistic representations of muscles, limbs, and movements, resulting in dramatic consequences. A prime illustration of this change is the Aphrodite of Knidos by Praxiteles, created around 330 BCE. This groundbreaking statue of the Greek goddess was the first female sculpture fully unclothed, defying the norms and undoubtedly shocking contemporaries, much like Marcel Duchamp's work did centuries later. Besides nudity, Praxiteles added an erotic touch by having Aphrodite's hand cover her pubis, intentionally attracting the viewer's attention. This artistic innovation laid the foundation for a specific viewpoint on the female body, now known as the male gaze, the assumed relationship between a male observer and a nude female subject. The concept dates back to ancient Greece, long before being discussed by 1970s feminists. Furthermore, this sculptural revolution established a benchmark famously referred to as the classical style, profoundly impacting future civilizations' artistic endeavors. Johann Joachim Winckelmann, a German art historian, played a significant role in spreading this idea. He passionately advocated for the supremacy of the classical style, asserting that the pinnacle of art correlated with the best political arrangements a society could achieve. According to Winckelmann, the condition of arts within a civilization reflected its overall well-being and inherent worth, ultimately concluding that the zenith of human civilization occurred when it adhered to the classical style. Unraveling the purpose of religious art. Christiana Herringham's documentation of the Ajanta cave paintings in the early 1900s sought to preserve them for their artistic value. However, she overlooked the intended interactive nature of these Buddhist frescoes, which aimed at fostering personal engagement with the depicted stories. In contrast, the golden mosaics at the Church of San Vitale in Ravenna, Italy serve as a guided visual narrative of Jesus's life to lead viewers towards a predefined conclusion. Religious art often serves a dual purpose, helping believers interpret their faith and providing religious experiences. Christiana Herringham, a British artist of the early 20th century, took on the mission of documenting the fragile religious paintings in India's Ajanta caves. While she believed she was preserving invaluable masterpieces, her focus on their aspects as fine art led to a misunderstanding of their original purpose. These Ajanta cave frescoes were never meant for mere aesthetics. Their creators conceived the paintings as a way for viewers to interact and engage with the depictions actively. Carved around 200 BCE, these ancient caves formed part of a religious complex that blended monasteries and prayer halls into the mountainside. It was within this spiritual setting that Buddhist devotees painted scenes from Buddha's life. The fresco's arrangement, neither chronological nor thematic, was intentional. The artist's goal was to craft a complex representation of their faith that would encourage contemplation and personal exploration of Buddha's tales. This interactive aspect distinguished the Ajanta paintings from other religious artworks, such as the striking golden mosaics of the Church of San Vitale in Ravenna, Italy. Constructed around 540 CE, San Vitale's mosaics chronicle Jesus's life, chronicling events sequentially from his infancy, his symbolism as the sacrificial lamb, to his divine manhood. These visuals aim to lead followers towards a predetermined understanding of Jesus's relationship to God, leaving little room for individual interpretation. The two cases reveal that religious art possesses dual functions, to assist believers in interpreting their faith and to create a space for experiencing religion. The Ajanta caves and San Vitale mosaics exhibit the diverse intentions of religious artists, offering either an invitation for personal engagement or a guidepost on navigating one's spirituality. Bridging faith through art. Art has the power to connect believers with the historical foundations of their faith by making the past come alive in the present. Renowned works, such as Tintoretto's mural of the Crucifixion or the continuously enhanced statue of the Virgin Mary in Seville's Church of the Macarena, enable viewers to feel intimately involved with the events and figures depicted. As a result, art bridges the gap between belief and experience, revitalizing faith and allowing the faithful to connect more deeply with their religious roots. Art serves as a powerful bridge for believers, connecting them with the historical events that form the basis of their faith. It's through this creative medium that the past can be brought into the present, enabling the faithful to feel an intimate connection with their beliefs. One prime example is Jacopo Tintoretto's impressive mural of the Crucifixion, created between 1560 and 1580. Tintoretto's more than 50 paintings graced the walls of the Scuola di San Rocco, but his enormous crucifixion scene captivates viewers. By dressing his central figures in contemporary clothing, Tintoretto put his audience at the heart of the crucifixion, making it a present-day event instead of a distant memory. Yet, it's not only grand murals that can evoke feelings of closeness to one's faith. The statue of the Virgin Mary in Seville's Church of the Macarena demonstrates how an individual figure can feel incredibly lifelike. Older than 17th century, the statue has been updated by later generations, with real human hair, donated clothing, and jewelry. The lifelike appearance of the statue demands such respect that only nuns are allowed to change her garments. On Good Friday, the most sacred day in the Christian calendar, the statue is placed on a throne and paraded through the streets, eliciting a response from the faithful as if encountering a real person. Artworks like Tintoretto's mural and the statue of the Virgin Mary powerfully demonstrate how religious art breathes life into history and helps believers connect more profoundly to their faith's roots. Unraveling Iconoclasm's Nuances. The destruction of sacred images, or iconoclasm, encompasses more complexity than often perceived. While the Taliban's 2001 demolition of the Buddhas of Bamiyan is a well-known example, subtler instances can be found within Ely Cathedral and Quad al-Islam Mosque. Upon closer examination of these places, iconoclasts' behavior reveals itself as more intricate. Sculpture's human features were targeted in Ely Cathedral, while Hindu figures were repurposed in the Indian mosque. Iconoclasm is far from being solely destructive, as it sometimes involves a blend of appreciation and repudiation for religious imagery. The notorious obliteration of the Buddhas of Bamiyan in 2001 by the Taliban stunned the world and seemed to epitomize the idea of iconoclasm. Yet, iconoclasm is not always as clear-cut or all-destructive as this act makes it appear. Take Ely Cathedral as an example. This architectural wonder faced its own iconoclastic challenges in the 17th century. Caught between the battle of Protestants and Catholics, this significant building's fate was changed forever. When Protestants, led by Oliver Cromwell, took control of the cathedral in 1644, they vandalized its decorations in their opposition to the worship of religious images. The destruction mostly occurred in the Lady Chapel, where sculptures lost their stained glass windows and certain features. However, the destruction was not total. The iconoclasts targeted primarily the human aspects, hands and heads, of the sculptures. As Cromwell's men left, they transformed rather than erased the cathedral, leaving an unexpected aura of austere beauty. A similar story unfolds with the Quat-ul-Islam Mosque, built in the 1190s in Delhi, India. Originally incorporating traditional Hindu designs with human representations, these images were later partially defaced to emphasize the Islamic takeover of the site. Yet, the older features were not completely wiped away. Instead, several defaced figures were repurposed to adorn the mosque, suggesting an ambivalent attitude toward the imagery they criticized. Thus, iconoclasm comes in different shades. In some instances, it is far from mindless destruction, revealing a fascinating interplay between admiration and rejection of religious symbols. Divine art in the written word. Contrary to the misconception that Islamic art avoids representation, the diversity of religious artistic expression is vast, especially when embracing the written word. Istanbul's Blue Mosque demonstrates the beauty of Arabic calligraphy to represent the divine, while the Kennicott Bible showcases rich intermingling and blending of Jewish, Christian, and Muslim traditions. Exploring diverse forms of art indicates that there is no singular way to represent the divine, as cultural boundaries continuously evolve and merge. Artistic representation in Islam may not adhere to the depiction of living creatures, but it doesn't reject art outright. Instead, it explores alternative forms of expression to capture the divine. A striking example is the Blue Mosque in Istanbul, which employs stunning calligraphy to communicate its message to worshippers. The intricate script serves as both an instructional and aesthetically pleasing element, signifying the divine's presence through its exquisite craftsmanship. Islamic art isn't the only tradition that harnesses the written word for evocative means. The Kennicott Bible, a Jewish manuscript created in 15th-century Spain, demonstrates the fascinating interplay of text and imagery. During a time when Jewish, Christian, and Muslim traditions were colliding, the manuscript seamlessly incorporates elements of these cultures. The pages contain beautifully detailed designs mirroring Islamic carpets, maintaining the Jewish tradition of micrography, writing in tiny text. One particularly captivating element appears at the end of the book. Artist Joseph Ibn Hayim signs his name in large, ornate letters filled with a mix of animal and human forms, reflecting the manuscript's overall theme of combining living beings with the written word. These examples emphasize that representing the divine isn't limited to a singular approach. As cultural boundaries shift and merge, acceptable forms of artistic expression evolve, and the beauty of the divine can be captured through diverse mediums.
The study of ancient art brings forth a wealth of intriguing perspectives, as Mary Beard's How Do We Look? Impeccably demonstrates. Through examining the vast array of ways art has been used to manifest intimate connections, religious devotion, the exercise of power, and representations of divinity, we can begin to see art's true, multifaceted potential. From the lifelike Greek statues of Aphrodite to calligraphy in Istanbul's Blue Mosque, art has transcended cultural boundaries and time frames, leaving us a rich tapestry of human history to unpack and appreciate. There's no doubt that understanding those ancient masterpieces allows us not only to connect with our past, but also to redraw the boundaries of how we perceive and interact with our present.